Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans in Crisis podcast. Today we have Lee Moore, who is the Armed Forces Support Officer for South Tyneside Homes. You all right, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Jeff?
No, not too bad. Thanks for coming on.
No, it's absolutely my pleasure. I've watched a couple of podcasts and not a couple. In fact, I've watched them all.
I was going to say, just a fucking couple.
Yeah, I've watched them. They're very entertaining, and obviously, it's good to see, two old soldiers having a bit of a banter and stuff. And it's
Well, that's all it is. It's not in-depth conversation, it's just a bit of crack. So what we normally do is we sort of run down through why you joined the army and that, but we'll start off with sort of your role for South Tyneside Homes, if that's all right.
I've just been in this position now, in this role now since July. Like I say, it's just they had Air Force here before. They do a great job. But South Tyneside Homes decided to take on a permanent role, which is good for me. Because previously, when I've worked in the past for different charities and stuff, it's always been 2-year contracts or 1-year contracts, which is, yourself, it's, if you want a steady life, working for these 1-year, 2-year contracts isn't good, So an opportunity here, and I took it, and there was quite a lot of people go for this job, and I'm very privileged to get it. And it's like veteran support work itself, as you know, it's like hen's teeth. There's not that many veteran roles as such as for permanent jobs. So like I say, I'm very privileged to get this job. So I've been working hard the last 6 months.
You're right. Like there isn't when things come up, it's always like 1 year or 2-year contracts, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm lucky that I've started Vic, so hopefully I'm not going to sack myself. So I'll be I'll still be in a job for a while, But it is a shame that happens a lot, because I know that we work for the same charity. My experience with that charity was a lot different to yours. Mm-hmm. However, the long and short of it was you were doing a good job, and then because your contract was up, that finished.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. In fact, we had done so much great work up in Northumberland where my last job was. Me and Mark Elliott. Shout out, Mark, if you're watching.
He'll not be. You forgot now, man. You forgot now. You don't work with him anymore. No, he'll not be watching.
No, me and Mark still keep in touch, and we'll stay friends for forever. He's I learned a lot of experience from him, and he's very intelligent man, and I'll always be grateful for the experience with him for the 2 years up in Northumberland. The 2 year up in Northumberland was a right eye opener. You had veterans sleeping in their cars and their sheds on the beaches, and up in Alnwick and Rothbury Woods. I had a lad in Rothbury Woods, and it's such a shame that they couldn't get the repeat funding, because we had made such an indent in sort of in the support in that area. We helped over 200 veterans. The list goes on. The data's there to sort of say how much graft we did do. It was kind of frontline, like yourself down in Sunderland there. It's like frontline support work. So yourself, it's you've got to be there. You've got to be rapid. You've got to be none of this. SAFA and your legions and stuff, they do a great job, but there's nothing that's rapid. And I think if we put something together, moving forward, where we're supporting, and it's got to be quick, it's got to be there, like yourself. So, I mean, when we come to see the other day there, and you've got a great setup down in Sunderland, and it's lovely to see. And your whole aspect of it is there. You're there straight away. As soon as you get the call, bang, and that's what it needs. That's what it should be. Emergency support straight away, without no question.
Well, yeah, exactly right. It's all about momentum. Once you hear something's happened, the quicker you can do it, it's the best for everyone, not just the client. I mean, really, you don't want to be working on someone's case for months on end. You want it done. You want them sorted. I mean, you mentioned SAFA and the Legion. Now, increasingly, they refer people to us, because they tell their own clients that we'll be a lot quicker, which is kind of mental considering how many £1 million they've got in the bank.
Definitely, it is a real shame, and I think obviously they go through the verification of service and all that, which is you know, yourself, there's some soldiers who try to pull the wool over charities' eyes, and we've seen it before. So I understand they have to do the verification of service and stuff, but that, you know yourself, that could take a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. You know, for the emergency that you're supposed to be sorting out, has passed. Somebody else has helped them already. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I understand why they do it. You know what I mean? But I kind of think that, I mean, they have the emergency funds, which I understand. But even then, sometimes that's a little bit of a lengthy sort of process, isn't it? So,
well, I've ended up, the person that had been in contact with them had been in contact with them for 6 weeks and still hadn't been sorted. Now, in less than a week, we filled his flat full of furniture and organised someone to decorate for him. And he can't believe it. You know, we keep turning up every day with more shit for him. He can't believe it. He can't. Honestly, it's good job it's a big flat.
Yeah, but that's exactly, you know, if the veteran support was like yourselves, and you know, in that rapid response and that, you know, that, and I think veterans would be a hell of a lot better off if we had, you know, something like yourselves in each region where we're not governed by sort of legislation and red tape and stuff like that. And, you know, the majority of the time, you know, you do come up against emergency situations like that. It's but like I say, it just needs rapid response straight away. It's like you say, momentum. It just needs done.
There's momentum's a key word, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Momentum's a key word. So if we're going back to your childhood and that, where were you born?
I was born in Wallsend.
For fuck's sake! You never said that before we started this. Yeah, so that's you and Steve Bruce.
Born in South Tyneside, yes. And then I grew up in Baker and Walker. Went to school. I went to Walker School. I didn't have, well, I mean, my mum, bless her, my mum worked and my dad worked. My stepdad, at least, they both grafted the arses off to sort of give us sort of what we needed as children. And, you know, I'm forever grateful to my parents for that. And then I didn't do very well at school, if I'm perfectly honest. I think I'd never looked like this when I was at school. I had a lot of curly hair, and I just wasn't the.
Good job you did have a beard.
Imagine that. I can imagine. Well, yeah, there was a bit of bullying and stuff, but it kind of made us the person who I am today. It's you know, I've got thick skin now, and then I joined the army. I was one of the last few pioneer in the Pioneer Corps down in Bicester. I joined in '92, then the Pioneer Corps amalgamated in 1994 to what it was, to the RLC, what it is today. So there was the Pioneers, there was the Ordnance, the RCT, and I think the postal side of the engineers, they got brought into the RLC, didn't it? And then obviously the Pioneers. So yeah, I was on that parade with the old Queen, having the Queen was come to see, with bless her. And I remember it well, actually, because we got told what the new Pioneer Corps anthem was, and obviously the band there was playing all the different regiments as anthems, and there was Nelly the Elephant come on, and that was the you know, that was Nelly the Elephant come on to the and that was the Pioneer anthem as such, Nelly the Elephant. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, but yeah, so I remember that parade well. But yeah, it had passed out of Basenbourne in '92. We were infantry trained. We trained with the Fusiliers and the Royal Anglians and the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment. I think they've amalgamated into something else now as well. So yeah, passed out of Basenbourne 2 days before my 18th birthday. So I was still a junior, really. I was still a sort of, it wasn't junior leaders, it was senior soldier. So I was still 17 when I passed out. So I passed out, like I say, as soon as I got back to the regiments, I got sent to Northern Ireland straight away, went Antrim. Done a few weeks on the old Stag on the sentry duty, and then we've done some snap VCP stuff and some patrols and that. But that was a good experience.
Did you enjoy Ireland?
I did. It was yeah. I had went back again further on in my sort of career. I went back and I had done my dog handlers course by then. So I had the second time round, Northern Ireland. It was a different job, which I loved being a dog handler. It was something I really enjoyed. I've done it for 6 years. I've done 9.5 years altogether, and then I was dog handler for 6 years. So which was really good, out in Cyprus and Northern Ireland again. So Cyprus was like just a piss up it was like 3-year piss up basically, Cyprus. But yeah, I've had a good career actually, and I've got a lot of thankful for it, because like I say, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my army career, and I suppose you wouldn't either.
No, well, this is it. I when I left the military, or the last part of my career, I didn't really like it. You know, I was taking drugs. I just wanted to be fucking grow my hair, just be normal. Like, you know, I'm not marching around all the time in Berlin, man. It was horrible. So when I left, that was me finished with the military. It's only when I started doing this again that I've started to re-engage, you know. And still now I'm not overawed on marching around and stuff. Yeah. You know, it's the fact of helping people, and people being in similar situations to what I've been in. And a lot of, I won't say all of them, but it seems to me that a lot of charities or military charities are sort of reluctant to help people who's been on drugs, you know, alcohol problems.
I think you're right there. I think there's a lot of charities, and especially the larger ones, you know, and not saying no names, but they tend to sort of the vulnerable ones, as you talked about, as the people who've had, you know, they've used drugs and alcohol for coping mechanisms for what they're going through. You know, PTSD is a massive thing, as you know. So it's just legislation. I don't think, you know, the local authorities want to deal with the such. I mean, they're not trained to do it, if I'm honest. I mean, I've took this job on, and, you know, if I've come across a veteran that's needed, you know, some alcohol services, I'll signpost them, because they're better at that job than what I am. I'm not alcohol trained, you know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I've got the basics. I'm not drugs trained, but I've got the basics, and I know who to signpost to. And I think if you've got that knowledge as a support worker, you know, you can signpost and use the ones that you kind of trust, if you know what I mean. You get to know the ones that do things for you, and you stick with them charities, and you kind of stick with them sort of you know, the drug service and alcohol service that you trust, and, you know, you get a good rapport with them, good relationship with them, and you stick with that. I'm not drugs and alcohol trained, but, you know what I mean, I know who to signpost to.
Yeah, I mean, you've got life experience as well, you know. I think that's the main thing of working in this field, is life experience, you know. People don't want to listen to you if you haven't got any experience. You know, if you haven't done something similar to what them, they're less likely to take any notice.
Yeah, there's like that barrier, isn't it? As soon as you show them your veteran's badge, and as soon as you say, look, you know, I've served as well, and that's a massive thing. You know, the odd swear word comes out when you're doing your one-to-ones, and I kind of feel that, you know, that you try and be as professional as possible, but when you're speaking to a veteran, all that comes out of you anyway. All that passion comes out of you anyway, and the swearing and you know, and it doesn't mean that I'm any less professional because I swear. It just means that I'm making them feel more comfortable, you know, and they start to open up to you, like, you know, yourself. You've had one-to-one for veterans, and as soon, like I say, that barrier gets lifted as soon as you tell them that you're a veteran yourself, and that's why I think it's the good thing that all the local authorities are taking on sort of veterans for the veteran-specific roles, because, like you say, it just lifts that barrier, doesn't it? So
it does, and I think that really. I might be against the employment laws, but I think it really should be a specific role just for veterans to do. You know, I don't feel that if you're going to be working with veterans, you should have been a veteran. Really, I think. I mean, that's just my opinion. No, I'm not in charge of them. I'm supposed to be in charge here, but everyone seems to tell me what to do all the time.
I had a bit of a bad patch. I got made redundant from the airport a number of years back. You're talking probably about six, 7, maybe. I think it was about 7 years ago now. I worked at Landside and the airport. I was there for nearly 10 years. And with the injuries that I had from the forces, from my times in the forces, affected us in my employment. I couldn't hardly walk. It was in a right bad way. And I took a bit of a turn. I had, you know, anxiety, depression. I went and done some counselling, and the counsellor was an ex-para, which it was just amazing. I mean, I was supposed to only be there for 10 weeks, and I was there for 26 weeks. and I just kept going back and kept going back and I got absolutely loads from it. And I think him and himself, that para himself doesn't realize how much help he supported me with. And it was just an hour chat every week. And yeah, I'd come away and I'd have a bit of a cry, a bit bawl, and because if it was just a normal civilian, or sorry, a non-armed forces or ex-veteran, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have made an effect on us like it did have. Counselling. I'll always encourage people to go to counselling because it's a great way to get things off your chest, especially veteran men. As you know, there's a stigma, within the forces. You go. I mean, I used to go sick in the army when I was in the army. They used to make me go sick with my number 2 dress on, balled up, medals. You know what I mean? Everything shiny, just to get on a minibus, just to go and see your GP. And I think that happens across the whole of the army. So when the lads is getting out, and especially me, I found it hard to speak. I found it really hard to get things off my chest, and I kind of feel it was a massive thing with the relationship I was in at the time, and and it affected that. So counselling, being a veteran, doing veteran specific roles is massive, absolutely massive. So it was a big experience for me, especially with the counsellor.
So how long did you spend in the forces altogether?
Just under 10 years.
And what was your transition like when you left?
I was medically discharged. I've had a couple of spine operations. They tried to fix the issue. It was basically my last 2 vertebrae they were basically just mush. So basically, it's called multi-level degenerative disease of the spine. That's what it's being diagnosed with. So basically, it could have been brought on by anything. It could have been the fact that I was only 17, still in training, still growing as a man, carrying all that weight as an infantry soldier. It could have been, the fact that I was doing a lot of heavy lifting. You just don't know. They tried to fix the problem. I had a year's physio, I had a year's rehabilitation. I got some steel in the bottom of my spine, so I've got it was actually just before I got made redundant from the airport, all that bone graft had fell off, the steel had fell off. So I had to have another operation and get that fixed. But I'm having issues with my spine now. It's even between my shoulder blades, I'm having issues. But I come to work and I graft, and I think majority of the time I come to work in pain, but because I love the job and I love helping veterans, I'm kind of used to it, if you know what I mean. The pain's there, but it's always going to be there. But I'm just kind of used to it now. It's just, I take my tablets and I come to work and I try and work as hard as I can. So I've always been a grafter, always been.
Do you do anything specific fitness wise for your back then?
I do a bit of boxing. I don't do full out boxing. I'm a level 2 boxing coach. And I do a bit of coaching up at Sporting Chance Northeast, up at Cowgate in Newcastle. It's a community gym, which is great. I do a little bit of. I try and move around as much as I can, but on days when I'm in pain, I don't antagonize it. In the days I'm not in pain, I do a little bit of training. It's as simple as that. I do a little bit of skipping, but it's mainly bag work. I smash the shit out of the bag. It makes us feel great. Put my 16s on, and sometimes if I'm feeling up to it, I'll do a little bit of moving around in the ring with the lads and maybe a bit of light sparring. But I know my limitations. It's just a case of not being silly, because there's been times where I've been in pain and I've done something and I've been laid on my back for a week. So I just have to be be realistic in what I can do and what I can't do, really. And
it's horrible back pain, isn't it?
Great. So when I was in Northumberland, I'd done a bit of veteran boxing. I was in my spare time. I'd go and meet veterans into the gym and stuff and do a bit of pad work and do a bit of basically a free one-to-one for them, really. So I'm hoping to do that in South Tyneside when everything calms down. I'm hoping to sort of replicate what we had up in Northumberland, a bit of boxing, a bit of bit of well-being, because it's great. I love boxing. It's it incorporates nicely with mental health. I do training, it makes us feel better. you know yourself, you've got your fitness stuff going on down in Sunderland, and it's great to see. And you've got all the circuit training going on, and it's amazing. And yeah, like I say, fitness and mental health, you know, the sort of kind of sit nicely with each other. And you know, anybody who's serious mental health issues, or you know, a bit of training, a bit of fitness.
We're starting, well, when everything sorts itself out, we're starting a boxing 12-week course. I think it's Maverick. It's a Liverpool or Manchester based firm, and then they're paying for North Star Boxing, which is at Southwick, to take 12 of our clients through either 10 or 12-week course. I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's going to be good. You know, it gets them any kind of fitness I like doing anyway. So when that happens, that'd be great for them.
Boxing, like I say, any sort of physical exercise, you know what I mean, with mental health, you know, for me, it's about the sleep thing. For me, I mean, I toss and turn most of the night, and I don't get a great amount of sleep, but when I train, I have a great sleep. Like, I'm absolutely shattered, you know what I mean? So I wake up all fresh, and you know, and I can tell when I've trained. So
sleep's a big part, isn't it? Mental health, sleep's a big part, because you lie there overthinking. You feel like shit the next day if you haven't had much sleep. It makes you more depressed. When my back was bad, I used to hate when I'd wake up in the morning, and as soon as you woke up, you were in pain, and I knew that I was going to be in that pain till I went back to sleep for the night. You know, it doesn't matter how much tablets I took or whatever, you know.
It's always in the background, isn't it? It's like it just niggles away at you. So I know how you feel.
Things like sneezing.
Out the bits.
And now I'm 50 years old, like, you know what I mean? So I'm nearly dead as it is. So
well, I was 46 on Saturday gone, so I'm still recovering now.
I feel a hell of a lot better now because you look older than me.
Oh, bless me. I'm still recovering off all the whiskey I had, and I had a few. I always get whiskey for my birthday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love me whiskey. I got this new whiskey called Smokehead. It's like in a tube, like a skull on it or something. Well, yeah, I had a few of them over the weekend, so I was a bit skew with. I was alright.
Oh, good.
But like I say, it's good to I like to have a drink at the weekend. It's you know, people have different relationships with alcohol, and then I have you know, I call it Hop House Friday. All I buy is 4 bottles of Hop House for a Friday, and I'll drink 4 bottles, and that'll be me asleep because I'm not a big massive drink. You know what I mean? It's you know, you've had a hard week, you've grafted your ass off, and you know, 4 bottles of beer on a Friday, and then I'm asleep. You know, it's just hardcore.
I only drink at a weekend. Like I drink non-alcoholic lager during the week, and that's only because I don't like pop. I only drink tea or water, so I like to have like non-alcoholic lager, and then I'll have a drink on a Friday and Saturday. Sometimes a Sunday, depends what it's like. But if it is a Sunday, it's finish early. Like
a couple of glasses of red with me dinner on a Sunday, so yeah. So I know how you feel.
It turns out into a couple of bottles then, doesn't it?
I know. But I normally have a cut-off time on a Sunday. I'll say, right, need more alcohol on a Sunday because I've got to be up Monday morning.
That's exactly what I do, mate. That's what I do. And that's all right, isn't it? You know? People are allowed to have a drink. It's not illegal yet.
Yet.
So, what's been happening through South Tyneside then, veteran-wise?
Yeah, tomorrow we've got our first drop-in of the since March, and obviously since COVID kicked in. Which is an amazing opportunity for the veterans, obviously in South Tyneside, to sort of come and have a bit of a chat. Obviously, social distancing's involved, and there's a lot of safety precautions being put in place for our day tomorrow. So tomorrow it's at Bilton Hall Community Centre in Simonside. So it's on from 10 till 12 tomorrow. It's a massive, big, huge hall. And what we've done is we've separated, you know, the chairs, so we've all got sort of, we're all safe. There's obviously no food on, because obviously with the way COVID is. So that's our first one. Just getting involved with all the community stuff, really. Beats Helping Hands. Big shout out to Tracy. She's been amazing with food parcels and little small hampers and stuff. She's got some hampers for this Friday. Joe, as you know, Joe Mills from Naffy Break, he's him and his daughter and you know, the family there are organising 30 breakfasts for the lads on Friday morning, which I'll be involved in delivering myself. So we've got 3 cars, we've got 10 breakfasts each, and we're gonna deliver out some like a nice fry up on the Friday morning.
Nice.
And then Tracy from Beats Helping Hands, she's got some hampers forward to give out as well. So yeah, so it's massive. It's really we've got a good week coming up to Christmas. You know, like I say, Tracy's been helping me loads with the food parcels, and the lads and lasses who are struggling. I've just been out the day, and there's a family I've been supporting, and they needed some food, and you know, we've been out today, and you know, so yeah, so it's, we've got since I've been in post, we've gotten some good things happening. I'm gonna we've got the veterans block there as well. I've got 9 flats there which I look after, and that's getting it's getting a bit of a do with getting some painting done to it. So we're gonna have a relaunch sometime next year. So yeah, so things is looking good. I'm just starting to get my way around the way the council work. I never worked for the council before, so we've had a chat about this before, about legislation and about all that, and it's just learning about, you know, the way that the sort of you know, South Tyneside homes work and like a local authority. So it's just wrapping my head around, you know, all the processes and, you know, and the stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a good 6 months.
Are you managing to get any time off at Christmas?
Yeah, we break up on the 24th, which is a bit of a bummer, but never mind. And I don't go back to the 10th, so we're gonna have 10 days off. I've had to put some holidays in between, like, which is fair enough. It's one of them things, you know. It's but yeah, South Tyneside Homes have been great with me. They've looked after us. You know, Councillor Ed Malcolm, he's the South Tyneside's champion, veteran champion through the council itself. So he's been supporting me as well. So yeah, so it's, you know, I've getting looked after really.
It shows you, doesn't it, that things can work really well when everyone works together.
Definitely. And obviously I've gotten in post, and obviously we briefly met when I worked for Changing Lives. And obviously you were just starting off. You know, you're down the crew down in Sunderland. You know, it's just I met you, I seen you at Finkel College that day, and even then, you know, you were doing great stuff then, and you just leaps and bounds. So well done to you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah,
it's a team effort. You know, it's a team effort.
Well, coming from Northumberland, you know, moving further south. Obviously, I know the lads at Project Nova, and you know, Jim over the water, and obviously Joe here, and you got yourself down in Sunderland. So I think, you know, we've always kept in touch with each other. You know, we've always said if you need anything, you know where we are, which it always stands. You know, so it's just a case of working together really and moving forward.
It is,
you know, some rapid response stuff, you know.
Well, exactly, and I think it is great that we've sort of made a little network in the northeast where everyone's always a phone call away. So I'm forever referring people, because people come to us, but if they're not from Sunderland, you know, I only help people who's from Sunderland, registered with a GP in Sunderland. So if they're anywhere out, we've got that network to refer on.
Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, with South Tyneside Homes, you know, getting a permanent veteran worker for this role, and I've kind of been told that I've got a bit of a blank canvas to work from. I'll be touching base with Laura Potter over at North Tyneside. We've talked on the phone. She's absolutely great. She's lush, she is. And, you know, I'm going to touch base with her and see if I can get some processes off her, and to see, you know, like, there's no point of fixing it if it's not broken, sort of thing, you know, where she can sort of, you know, I can get some advice from her and how she runs things over at North Tyneside, because North Tyneside have done the same. They haven't got AFOS. They're just the same as us, you know.
Yeah, Sunderland never took it up either.
Well, that's right. You were saying last time, you know, as well. They didn't sign the covenant either, did they? No. Well, they signed it, but
they signed it. But we didn't take them out as well as I. Right, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And like I say, you know, if you need us out, you know where we are.
All right, and anytime you want to pop through again or anything you want, just give us a shout.
Oh, great stuff. It's an absolute pleasure, Jay. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers now.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.